Thing. Okay, we're recording. Debbie and I were already kind of talking, but she's talking about something you guys are probably going to come across. So I wanted to record this. So if you happen to listen to the recording, you have the answers already. She's just saying that she's got a lot of people freaking out about signing up to be a coach because they don't want to give their social security number. First thing I always, hey Saya. Usually when someone brings this up to me, I try to kind of keep it real casual and I don't get too in depth on my response until they continue to freak out. So my first response really is just, that's just for tax purposes. If you make over $600 a year, then they'll report it. You'll get a 1099 that you can use for your tax returns. That's it. But if you aren't using this for a business, it won't even show up. They won't even use your social security number. If you are doing this as a business, then once you get to that point, we'll talk, but you won't pay taxes for a really long time. So don't even stress that. And then if they continue to freak about it, you just have to ask them and be like, why are you freaked out? Because it could be the taxes thing. They could be like, well, I don't want to have to pay taxes. And at that point you can kind of be like, yeah, but if you're making more money, wouldn't you rather have that 60%, 30% had to go to taxes? Wouldn't you rather have the other 60, 70% increase in your income, right? So you can kind of talk them through that, but it might end up being that they don't trust the website or they don't trust the company. And at that point you can say, hey, look, Beachbody's legit. They've been around for 20 plus years. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. You can go look them up if you're worried about it. I promise you it is safe. So you kind of just have to expand on that and kind of just ask them if they're still nervous. Be like, do you mind telling me why that freaks you out so much? And that way you can see which direction they're freaked. Are they like, I don't want my identity to be stolen? So you can talk about the security of the website, and it says at the bottom of the website that it's secure. And you can just reassure them. But if it's I don't want to pay taxes, then you reassure them in that direction. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Yes.
But yeah, usually I won't go into that until they're continuing to be freaked out. I'll be like, oh, that's nothing. That's just for tax purposes, and they won't even use it unless you make more than $600. And then let it go. And if they still dig their feet in, then you can ask them.
Okay.
Make sense?
Perfect sense.
Okay. So I know that I asked you, I'm talking to Debbie, y'all, because Saya was on last week. We got hers last week. I asked you about your goals and you threw out Diamond.
Yes.
Why? Why are you here?
Why am I here?
You didn't sign up to be a coach because you want to be a Diamond coach.
No, because I want to help that many more people.
So why are you here? What is the goal? What is the life? What is the dream?
The dream is to have a team that you are running and helping, because then that, to me, like, I'm doing what I set out to do to help other women, like free them financially or give them this tribe. Like, I've been talking to a lot of people that are just like newly divorced, and it's like, I know exactly where they're at, because you do feel lost, like, and so I'm like, that is what I want to do. I want to build this tribe of women that, we're all like-minded, and it's not so much about a rank, obviously, but hitting that rank tells me that, okay, I've helped that many more people realize their own goals.
For sure. So when I started, I didn't have any of these big, I want to build a team goals, I want to change the world goals. That wasn't there. That came over time as I helped more people and as I kind of discovered more about myself. And I think you've been in this long enough that you're at that point where you've discovered that deeper meaning, which just came out. You want to help divorced moms. You want to help them have this kind of a tribe and get through what you went through, because there's lots of them out there. Before that, and in addition to that, why did you sign up to coach?
To help women change their lives. I signed up initially, like, why did I first sign up? It was for myself.
What do you want?
Money.
Thank you. Why? What is the dream life? What are you gonna
Life?
do with it? Huh?
Everything. Seriously, sky's the limit. Well, you know what I mean? Like, go and take vacations and go out and see my girls when they're gone for 6 weeks, or hopefully only 6 weeks in the summer. But
Okay, keep talking.
obviously continue to, I don't know, just build memories, I guess. Not that you need money for memories. So this is what's hard. Yes, I want them.
This is not a place where you need to backpedal about your dreams. This is a place where you let it all flow.
Like, yes, obviously money, but then at the same time, no. Like, for me, this is like, it keeps me so accountable. A big part of it is for me, myself. Like, I look back at the sad mom that I was, and I don't ever want to be back there in that mindset of not being happy with my body, of not being able to keep up with the kids.
If you were Micah, what would your life look like?
If I was Micah?
If you made as much money as Micah makes, what would your life look like?
Other than going on trips, it would probably look the same. I'd still be wearing my sweatshirt.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but
okay, vacations. Where do you want to travel? Like, what's a dream?
Ireland is on my vision board. My family's from there, so I would love to just go see all of that.
Love. Okay. You're buying a house.
Like a house.
Are you stressed about the mortgage?
Actually, no, because it was my Beachbody income, even just a little bit on top of it, that like secured it. She was like, okay, you have to have your wife and her Beachbody income. Even though I'm like, dude, it's not very much.
Does that freak you out moving forward, like being able to maintain that?
Kind of, because now I'm like, pressure that like I need to keep it going. And
it's not a hobby anymore.
No, yeah, now it's a job, which in a way I'm kind of excited for, to make it to where it's like I know that I have a minimum that I have to keep.
It's making a difference.
It is. Like, I've
totally
not missed a power hour for a month now.
Has it ever crossed your mind to dream of paying off the house early?
Absolutely. That's the other thing I told Sean.
Retiring your husband.
On Sunday. I want to retire him. Absolutely. I'm like, I would love for you to be my bookman and from the behind the scene crap, because I hate the numbers. Like, and then you're here. Not working night shift anymore.
That's good. What about shorter term financial goals? Like what?
Shorter term financial goals. I want to get my girls' savings account up because, when we got divorced, Greg depleted that and kept it where we had a big chunk of change for each of them in a savings, and now that's no longer there, and that irritates me. I don't want them to have to worry about paying for school.
Okay.
We want their college fund covered.
Okay. All right. Even shorter.
Small.
No. What's a small? What's a?
Other than our house, like that's the only debt we have.
Something frivolous.
So frivolous would be, I don't know, paying cash for like a newer van or something, like upgrading a car with cash.
Saya, do you see how hard she's struggling with this? Saya just belted it out. She gave me a list. She knew what she wanted.
That's my issue. I don't know. I think it's like a lot of my whole like idea on money changed because in a way I fear money a little bit because I've seen how much it changed my ex-husband. And so there is a little bit of hesitation and fear that I know it won't change me, but I think it's there.
I was just going to say, I'm so happy you've got that book coming.
Yeah.
Dive into that book.
Today.
She's going to be reading You're a Badass with Money, at Making Money. Hold on.
Yeah.
Life.
That one.
Life, y'all. You need this book, and you need to read it cover to cover every month for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life.
Seriously. Okay. I'll probably do it like every 6 months if I'm being real. But I'm really glad you've got that because that's definitely something you want to work through. I can just feel the waves of like, I don't want money.
Exactly.
I don't want money.
And you do and you don't. And I need to read that book because it's so true.
Yes.
I know it has everything to do with the past, like watching how much it changed a person.
That makes total sense. But I will just say this, and I know you'll say but I will just say it didn't change the person. It let the person come out.
Exactly.
So as long as you are right with yourself, which you are because you're doing the PD, you're doing your spiritual work, you're doing all of that, you will just be more of the person that you already are.
And my other thing that I like, that's one of my big things, is I want to be able to do like fundraisers for people.
Yes.
That is my dream goal, to be able to just help those in need, because I know what it was like to not have anything. My husband, when he walked away, took my name off of it.
I remembered something that you told me once, a long time ago. You are going to probably end up being responsible for your sister.
Yes, I already know I am. We went and signed that paperwork before they went to Alaska.
So that's another thing that I know is pretty heavy on your heart, is being
absolutely
in a position to be able to help her. But also, this is something that's on mine, and I know that it will resound with you, but I would love to be able to provide for my parents
and
his parents as they are, aging and not able to care for themselves. I want to be able to provide the best for them.
Exactly.
And I know that would be huge for you. Okay. These are all good things. I want you to know that. Like, the fact that you had nothing in there for yourself and it was just all this fluffy tribe stuff, that's a good thing to want. And I want that too. We all do. But you got to have something substantial, because if you don't, then when life is crazy and you're moving and this work is going to be the last thing you do. It's going to take the lowest priority. And when it's the lowest priority, it doesn't grow. So just spend some time getting comfortable with these dreams. They're not icky. They're beautiful, wonderful, exciting dreams. Get comfortable with them and allow yourself to dream, and take Sean on a date and dream together and just say, okay, I know this is super weird, but if I like suddenly made $1 million, like if we were completely financially independent, what would our life look like? And dream together.
We started doing that like
good
weekly, because I was, but I wasn't. And I'm like, being super intentional. I'm like, we need to talk about it. I said, so you hold me responsible and not just assuming I'm doing my work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what I did with the other girls and what I want to do with you, and then I have something that was in my reading this morning that was just like, that I want to share with you guys real quick. But I wanted everyone to set deadlines. So I kind of dragged some of these out of you. I know there's like a lot of big, like yeah, right, kind of goals. But there are some in there that I think you can set deadlines on, like getting savings started for the girls. And you can set a deadline, a date, and an amount. Or you can say, by the end of this year, I want to be doing this much per month, or whatever it looks like for you. Set a deadline and amount on that. The van, that could be something that you really get serious about real quick. And then visiting the girls in the summer, you could set a deadline on that, because next summer is coming and they're going to go again next summer. So you could already start planning and preparing and saving for that trip. Somewhere in the middle of their time with Greg, you could have a trip planned out there to visit them. So those are a couple of things that are within your grasp.
My deadline, I did set a deadline for Summit to have it paid for with my business by March, everything.
Yes. What have you paid for so far?
Well, I bought my plane ticket already. I bought the hotel room already.
What else is there to pay for?
Spending.
You don't need until March, Debbie.
No, I know, but just meaning like knowing that I.
No. I know what you mean. I know you want to walk into the core with $600. I remember that part.
Exactly.
So $600 to go shopping, and maybe like 200 for food because there's no time to eat.
No.
And maybe
Not
like
that I
100
figure
for
we're ordering
incidental.
groceries.
Yeah. So like set a goal, literally like $700 or $800, and you make that a short goal. Like March is too far.
Okay.
March is too far. If you're trying to go diamond.
December. November, October. September 23rd on YouTube.
There we go. I got it. By crossing out March. I can't believe you already bought your flight and you were going to save until March.
Well, I mean, it's technically with flyer miles, so.
It doesn't matter. It counts. Okay. So that's your first goal.
September 23rd.
It's a big one. So you got to hustle. What's your number? Is 700 enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you're shopping binge,
kill me.
You know, if you were taking that much money to shop, you were going to have to haul ace to make sure you get to be at the early core shopping, the VIP shopping.
I got to hit. What do I got to do for that? What goals?
I don't know. I don't remember. I earned it. I think you have to hit Success Club the 2 months before or something. I had the wristband, but I didn't get there in time on Wednesday. So, something to consider. Okay, so $700. That's your first goal. That is your hustle goal.
Hustle goal.
Breathe. Okay, I want you to take this to Sean, and I want you to like massively. I know you're busy, but you can read when you pee. You can read when you bath. Like you can find times to read. Yeah. So I want you to get this done as fast as possible, and then you can go back to it after you move and deep dive. But I want you to just fill your brain up right now.
Okay.
And then I want you to go over this stuff with Sean. I'm going to send you a picture because I took notes. And I want you to figure out what your next goal is. So this is the first one. You got to get $700 saved somewhere. And it's got to be somewhere safe. And then your next goal. Figure out what it's going to be and when it's going to be. Like a January, February-ish or whatever.
Okay.
Like maybe the next thing is having the trip paid for to go see the girls next summer. And then from there you go on to the girls' savings. I don't know. You guys talk it out. And that's your homework. So next time you get on, I want to hear about it.
I can tell you right now, he'll want like house stuff in there.
Yeah. And you're going to have to account for that for sure. But here's the thing.
Which is fine. Make a home our own.
You know, I'm not a big recruiter right now. This whole last year has been real like slim for me. And yet, and I'm a diamond right now. I've dropped all my stars. They were all me. Dropped all my stars. I'm diamond rank. And I don't think I think there's been 1 month that I made under $3,000.
Okay.
My total for last year was $33,000. That's what I claimed on taxes.
Okay.
And that's not counting the money that was under my mom. I don't remember. So I made a teacher's salary. So if you get super intentional, number one, about growing, which you're doing. Number two, how you spend your money and not frittering it away like I do. Like, stop buying freaking workout clothes and stop buying. Right. Like get real serious with yourself about where your money's going. All of this is so much more within reach. And those little ones like Summit and the trip to see the girls and a van and savings for the girls. Those 4 things, those could all be within the next year.
That would be
easy.
What it's going to be. It's going to go on the vision board.
So that's just what I want you to see here is like the vision of it's more than just this super fantastical tribe change the world thing, because that's wonderful, but that's big and that takes more than just you. That's big and that's huge, but you've got to have something in the meantime that's making it worthwhile for you and for your family. to have you spend this time. So that's
It was nice paying for the girls' dance up front, and that's
Yes.
another thing. I might have got to get my butt going on that.
Yes, that's huge. So you have to do more of that so that you don't get to the end of the year and you're paying taxes and you're like, what did I spend that money on? I have no idea. That's big. That's going to help you stay focused and stay committed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do on these calls, you'll get to see Saya here in a minute. We're just going to check in. It won't take this long every time because I've got you down. I've got your stuff. So next time you're on a call, I'm getting a checkup. You know, you're going to tell me what dates you've set, what your goals that you figured out together, what progress you've made, whatever. We're going to just do a quick update so that everybody can cheer each other on. When somebody's having a bad day, we can be like, hey, yo, I know you wanted to take that trip. Stay focused. It's worth it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So you're amazing. I love you. I love that I can give you a really hard time and just give you crap.
Absolutely.
Yelling at me. Okay, Saya, you're up, dude. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Are you feeling better?
I still have a cough.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
fine.
annoying.
Everything's fine.
Well, I'm glad you're on the mend at least.
Thank you.
Do you want to summarize what we came up with last time? Did you write it down or do you want me to summarize?
I wrote it down.
You're so good.
My main, well, I wouldn't say my main goal, but one of my goals was to pay for my Shaco and performance packs.
To cover your product, that's right.
And I don't know what else I told you because I have a lot of things going here.
Okay, so I have
like 5 things written down.
Yep, you want to cover your product. That's first priority, so it's not coming out of your budget. The next thing I think was Summit. You wanted to get your ticket and get busy paying for Summit. The next thing was a new car because I saw a roll of duct tape the other day that should not be part of your life. And then student loans was a big one for you too. So those were the ones that I got.
Okay, perfect.
You want to add to it?
Not
You've
yet.
been dreaming, haven't you?
I've been just trying to dump my brain on paper.
I love it. That's great. So after we talked last time, I asked you to kind of set some deadlines and some goals for yourself. Did you do it?
Yes. Yeah. I did. Okay, so October, I put for my product just like consistently. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. How much do you spend in product?
Like by then I should.
How much do you spend in product?
A lot.
You get Shakeology.
Yeah.
You get the performance stack.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
That's it. $200. And you're gonna give yourself July, August, September, and you're gonna give yourself 4 months to be making $200 a month.
Well, I don't even know how much I would actually make.
Well, let's break it down real simple. Approximately $50 a customer when they sign up.
I wrote that down.
Mm-hmm.
So?
And then when we get those customers signed up as coaches, there's these little pretty $14 little bonuses that are thrown in there here and there every time they get their shakes.
Oh.
So that starts to build too.
Yep.
So if you get 4 people in a month because you're like, I got to get 4 because I got to pay for my stuff, right? You get 4 people a month. Then on month 2, you get 4 more people, and say 2 of the first month people cancel. No big deal. But 2 of them stay on their shakes. You're either getting the commission or you're getting the team volume because they signed up as a coach for the discount. So now you have commission from those 4 new people, and you have either commission or cycle bonuses for the 2 from last month that stuck around. And then you go to month 3 and you get 4 new people. Say these 2 stayed and these 2 stayed. Do you see how that kind of builds?
Yes.
Yes. So July.
July.
4 friggin'
Oh,
people.
okay.
Uh-huh. Do you see how that works?
You got 3 codes. Work them codes.
Yeah, I've been trying to push those codes.
I have a lot of codes, so if anybody runs out, I probably have extra because I got them for all my business centers. So if anybody runs out, don't just tell people they're out of luck. Be like, I got one for you, because we got coaches who aren't using them. So don't let anybody sign up without a code. Actually, I've had 2 people sign up and neither one of them could figure out how to use the code. So they just signed up without it. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'll send
That's
you a book.
weird.
Yeah, it's super
So,
weird.
if we have a challenger that orders Shaco for the first time, we're supposed to get 1 Success Club point for that, right?
2.
2? I'm gonna have to call
Yep, they upped it to 2.
my retarded girl.
It's still like she hasn't given you points for anything before.
No, because she just
Okay.
signed up with BOD last month,
Okay.
and then she was like, "No, I'm not gonna do anything." And then all of a sudden, I see like an order for Shakeology. I was like, "What the?" I'm like, "I could have got you a
Was
better
it
deal."
HD?
I thought it said HD.
Double check that. If it was HD, you should
Maybe
get
that's
points.
what it is.
If it was a one-time, then you won't,
Oh,
unfortunately. But I would reach out to her and be like, dude, why didn't you tell me? I could have hooked you up with
oh, I already did.
100
My cousin's wife.
for the same price.
But I told
Like
her
she
I
would
was
pay the exact same amount for a completion pack of MM100 and Shakeology. So then you could talk to her about that and see if she could call and get that upgraded. Anyway, okay. So Saya, July.
Yes.
Yeah.
July.
Good.
That's
Obviously,
crazy.
this is something that it's going to be your first goal every month, right? It's not like you set the goal, you hit it one month, and it's good to go. This is
Right.
the goal every month, is to make sure you make enough to pay for your product. And then anything beyond that can go to the next goal, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's kind of a recurring goal, but it should be the goal every single month. It's like your first step. So then your next step would be, what do you think? What's your next one that you'll start paying toward?
Probably definitely Summit.
Okay, going to Summit.
Yep.
Atta girl. So that's the thing, is you cover your shakes and stuff, and then anything beyond that, you start stocking it to Summit. If you're getting 4 new people a month, even 3 new people a month. So we were talking about when to get your ticket for Summit, and that's only $150, right?
Yeah, actually, Will's email got a code for Summit. Can I use that code or no?
He got a code.
Yeah, that I could get the ticket for like $145.
Oh, that's what it is for everyone.
Okay, so I can just get on there and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For now, but that's until, I think that's only until July 31st. I think.
Well, I'm probably going to get it before July 31st.
Okay, so we're putting July on your ticket.
Yeah.
Then after that, you'll start saving up for like the flight.
Yeah.
Because you'll still have to fly to NOLA. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to like get my geography right, but that's way down south. Okay, yeah. So then you'll start saving up for that flight. Honestly, when it comes down to it, don't be crazy like Debbie and plan on spending $600 in the core. I mean, once you see the core, you'll want to do that the next year, but don't worry about that. You'll really just have money for food and a little bit for like Ubers and stuff. So that's really about it. So once you pay for your flight, your hotel, and your Summit ticket, the rest is easy peasy. So I would move on to the flight after you get the ticket. That's what I would nail that down as soon as possible, because the price goes up. If you get your flight too close to Summit, you will pay through the teeth. It's bad. Okay, so cover your product and get your summit ticket this month. So let's say summit flight by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it. Dude, you got this. You got so many people who freaking love you and they're so freaking inspired by you. You just got to keep trucking. You got to keep inviting. You got to keep following up with them. You got to keep loving on them. And then you got to keep going and finding more people. And don't forget your Facebook people because they love you too, even though you like Insta better.
I love
Facebook
Insta.
actually is like reviving. It's so weird. But make sure you're putting your stories on Facebook stories because I get more people watching on Facebook than I do on Insta. And Facebook doesn't block you as much as Insta does if you send a lot of messages. It just, Facebook's kind of loosening their stranglehold a little bit, and people are less freaky on Facebook now than they used to be. So use both because you definitely have really good followers on both.
Okay.
And then make sure you follow up. Like the follow up isn't just, oh yeah, I'd be interested. Okay, here's a video. And then I follow up tomorrow. Hey, did you watch that video? That's one follow up. But the follow up could also be, oh, that sounds so amazing. I just don't know if I could do that, blah, 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 blah. And you have this conversation that ends in nothing. And then next week, we find out about these amazing promo codes. And so we reach out, hey, I know we just talked last week and you were a little hesitant about this, but I just got these promo codes. I know you were worried about the money. I think you'd be so fun to work with. If you're still considering this, now's the time. I'd love to give you one of these codes. That's a follow-up also, like a re-invite after a little bit of time has passed. The girl that just signed up today, Hannah, she's a sweetheart, so sweet. Found her on Instagram. I invited her to coach right off the bat because she was sharing her workouts and stuff, and I invited her a long time ago. And she was like, no thanks. And so I just kind of laid off for a while because I was in a bad place. And then I finally got brave enough to start talking to her again because I was in a bad place and it freaked me out when she said no. And I got talking to her again and we got talking about it, and turns out she was interested but nervous for some other reasons. And I finally was like, dude, let's start you as a challenger and you can at least get in and try the products. So she's been doing that for the last month. And now she was finally ready and she signed up to coach and she's doing MM100. So like that was probably almost a year ago, the first time I invited her. And I just kind of kept watching her stories and commenting on her posts and just loving on her. And when she was ready, I was here. So there's so many people. And then when Jessica signed up earlier this month, I invited her a few times, like way back last year or something. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've invited her, and she came to me. So she's still been watching all this time. And when she was ready, she came to me. So consistency in your posting, consistency in inviting and finding new people, but also don't forget the people who've said no, because it's not no, it's not right now. So you just have to continue to go back, give them the opportunity again in a very casual way. And then when they say no, just continue to love on them. So, because I know you've invited a ton, Saya, and you've gotten a lot of no's, but those people are all still on your prospect list. They're all still in need of what we have. They're all still watching you. They're all still curious, and we don't know when their time will be right. So don't hesitate to follow up with someone with a re-invite. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
really been working on like connecting more in between the no's, even if they're still telling me no, just to like get to know them better and
Yes. To make sure they know
relate.
you're not only there to sign them up for something. Absolutely. Yeah. So I just want to share something with you guys real quick. Are you guys reading this? No? You're muted. Whatever you said, it looked really smart.
I said, yep.
Oh, good
I
girl.
I can't read it at night because I won't put it down and so I don't go to bed on time.
This is my morning. I read it in the morning and then I'm just like for
Well,
an
I've loved
hour
it. Well, I've been doing
afterwards.
like both because it's so good. I don't
It
know why
is.
I've not ever read that book. Like,
It's
what is it you think?
fantastic. I read it at the first of the year. Actually, I audibled it at the first of the year. Loved it then. He spoke to us at Summit, and I'm like scribbling everything he writes, and then I'm reading it again, and I'm like, oh, it was like word for word from the book, but it's just so mind-blowing. So there's one thing, I'm just beginning it, but he's talking about how you create a habit, and there's a four simple steps of creating a habit. So he talks about, so a habit's just a behavior, right? It's a behavior that's repeated over and over. So he says that behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated. So any kind of behavior that's followed by something you enjoy, you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again. It's going to become a habit because your brain says, ooh, good things happen when we do this. So the 4 steps of creating habit, or how a habit works, is cue. So that's kind of the trigger that tells your brain that something needs to be done. Craving is the part of your brain when your brain craves a change, it's giving you a reason to act, right? So the cue tells you that maybe something should be done. The craving says, I want it to be done. And then after that, it goes on to the response, which is the actual habit you're performing, and then the reward. But my thought this morning is that if we're talking about our business and the things we do in our business, our power hour, inviting, connecting, expanding, working out, if we're talking about our business habits that we're trying to create, I think we skip the craving step. We're trying to make our work habits into habits. We're trying to get to the point where it's a habit that when we pick up our phone, we're connecting and not scrolling. Or it's a habit that at this time every day we sit down and we do all the power hour. But that's a struggle for most of us. And I think we're skipping the craving part. We have a cue, we have a trigger. You know, for me, it's finish my workout, post to stories, start my power hour, right? That's my cue. I finish my stories. Now I need to start my power hour. We have the response, which is the actual action, the actual connecting on Instagram or posting or inviting or whatever. And then the reward, obviously, that's what we've been talking about. We've got to have smaller rewards that we can reach for. And the reward of, you know, a job well done or whatever. But I feel like there's nothing there to make us crave that work. There's nothing there that makes us actually want to do a power hour. It's like pulling teeth. I hate it. I don't want to do it. It makes me think about quitting. But when I think about coaching as a whole, what it really means to me, what it really is doing for my life, what I have envisioned for my life because of coaching, obviously I will never quit. But in that moment when I'm supposed to be working, I just want to run away and I don't want to do it. So I think that's something to consider in your own routines as you're trying to create these habits. What can you do to crave that time on your phone or on your computer doing the work? And I don't have the answer yet. I would love to hear ideas, or as you guys think about this, if you come up with something, but I think that's something to consider and to figure out what can we do that will make like these work activities something that we crave. He says, for example, you don't crave smoking a cigarette. You crave the feeling of relief that it provides. You're not motivated by brushing your teeth. You don't crave that. You just crave the feeling of a clean mouth. So what comes from doing that power hour that could make us enjoy it more and want to start? He also talks a lot about this. I have this in my notes. I was going through it before you guys got on. Where is he? He talks about a habit is what gets you into the needed action. It's the entry point, not the exit. So the habit isn't even necessarily the power hour. The habit is sitting down at the desk with your notebook in front of you and your computer open. You can just make yourself do that at the right time every day. Then you'll start the work. Or the habit could be going to a certain spot in your house. The habit could be, I don't know. That's something we all have to figure out for ourselves, what the habit would be that was an entry point into the act of doing our work activity. Does that make any sense at all? So just kind of keeping that in mind, that the habit is the entry point. It's what gets you into the desired behaviors. It's not the desired behaviors themselves, it's what gets you to start them. He says, master the art of starting, of just showing up, even if you're not perfect for a long time. Yeah. Oh, and he said, how can I bypass the need for willpower? How can I make the things that I need to do more attractive than everything else? So that's the whole thing. How can we make that work time, those work activities, those income producing activities, the IPAs, how can we make those more attractive than Netflix or cleaning the house or scrolling or shopping online or whatever it is that distracts us? How can we make those IPAs more attractive than all the other distractions around us? So I don't know if you have a thought on that or if it's something you guys want to think about, but
I'm gonna think about it because that's what I struggle with.
yes, me too. Like once you start, you do it.
Yeah, once I start it, then it's done. But it's like, if I don't, like you were saying, if I don't immediately do my stories and then go right into my power hour, then I'm like, oh, well, crap. Now I'm trying to do a little here, a little here, a little there. And it makes me insane.
For me, there, like, especially in the summer, there are some days where that just doesn't work. Today, I had to get in my yard. My yard was literally a forest. It was ridiculous. But it's 95 freaking degrees. So I had to go straight outside after my workout and do that yard work. So I had to force myself to come in and do my work at 2 p.m., which is like the worst time of day. So this just really hit me today because I thought, this is the hardest part of what we do. How can we get to where we enjoy it more, to where we actually want to sit down and do our work? And it's like, sweet, time to work. That's what we have to figure out. I did wonder if sharing our tracking, like our trackers or whatever, could that be considered a reward for doing the work? I don't know. I don't know if we've ever done it consistently enough. Does that give it like a good enough feeling that you're like, woo, got another one?
I think so. I mean, really, because obviously, like, you're not going to want to share if you haven't done it because you're like, crap. I suck.
And I think that's what happens is we stop. We've tried that where we have a post for accountability or whatever, and then it dies off because, you know, we have a bad day or whatever and we don't want to share it. And then nobody shares. Yeah. So I don't know. That's something to think about. I don't know if that's true, if that would actually be the, that felt great. I love seeing day after day after day after day posted, or if that's just one more thing and it doesn't really give you that boost. You know, I don't know. It's just something I would really like to consider and figure out, because I think this could be a huge power play for us if we could figure out how to crave the actual income producing activities that give us this dream life that we're creating.
One would think that is enough.
Right? I think that's part of the problem though, is it's so far out.
It is. It's like
these dreams are
human.
So far out. Yeah.
That instant gratification. And so it's hard to, like, all right, it's going to be there. And
yeah. And that's why I've been hounding you guys about smaller and smaller and smaller goals. You've got to have the big vision, but then you got to have something small to reach for right now. Something that you are just like, okay, this is happening now. Because that's what gets you working today. If it's like, yeah, I want to pay off our house in 5 years, well, I'll start working next year.
Yeah.
No,
too far away.
Today doesn't matter. So same thing with weight loss. If you set your goal out too far, it's too easy to be like, maybe tomorrow. So I don't know, something to think about. And maybe some of the others will listen to this recording and we could get a discussion going, because that would be super fun to come up with something even that we could do together that would help give us that little boost that little burst of reward in our brains, so that we're like, oh, this is super fun. Maybe life power hours. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
I love those, but those are hard because it's like we're all on different
I mean,
schedules.
yeah,
Like,
they are
so
hard. I know. Yeah, I don't know the answer, but it's something I'm going to be thinking about. So if you guys think of anything, I want to hear about it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to chat about?
I think so.
Cool.
So
Thanks
ready
for
for the
getting
program.
on.
What are you guys